5, 4,
Yes, 21.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? This is episode 21 of the Pitside podcast. I'm here, as always, with my good buddy Roger Craig. Now, you may have noticed we took a week off last week, but we had to take a week to get this all together. We've got an absolutely incredible interview with none other than the three-time World of Outlaws iRacing champion, Alex Bergeron. So we're going to get started with that here in just a minute. Everybody.
Close personal friend of mine.
Yes, apparently a so-called close personal friend of Roger's. So we'll be back with Roger's buddy here in just a second. Yeah, so we're back here. We're not gonna talk too long here. We'll jump right into the interview. But before we do, if you're not familiar with Alex, this is a great interview to hear. If you know him, it's a great interview to hear because I think Roger, you knew of him more than I did, and there's definitely some stuff that he talks about that I don't think or at least you even really knew about. So. Again, let's just jump on into it, get into the interview, and we'll be back to ramble on here in a few minutes.
Yeah, let's go talk to the champ. Well, we've been telling everybody we've got a very special guest come on this week, and we are really excited about this. Three-time world champion, back-to-back-to-back, Alex Bergeron, the crazy Canadian. Really glad to have you on the show, buddy.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
So I have to ask before we get into all the details and stuff. You're obviously the highest profile guest we've ever had. Roger and I have been doing this for 22 episodes now, 21 maybe. I can't remember.
It's 21, I think. Yeah.
Have you ever even heard of the Pitside podcast before we reached out to you?
Not really. I mean, I've looked at all the other broadcasts, Elite and all that sort of stuff, but never really heard of it. I mean, I knew Roger for a long time since Ushwick in 2018, so really it's been a long time.
Yeah, so that was a discussion that we had where, we do this every week and, we have a loyal following really, but we want to kind of increase our viewership. And I told Roger, I was like, we got to get some people with some notoriety. And I said, what about Alex Bergeron? And Roger said, oh yeah, close personal friend of mine. And I think he might have been exaggerating that just a little bit, but he pulled it off, and we're glad to have you on the show.
I appreciate it.
I got to say, so, there's two heroes in my life now. I was a big Ted Hogan fan when I was like 10 years old. And then in later life, I discovered dirt racing again, and everybody knows I'm a huge Dylan Westbrook fan. But when it comes to iRacing, it's Alex Bergeron. So it's very cool to have Alex on here. Got a lot of respect for Alex, not just for his on track, but seriously, he's a true gentleman and just a great guy and a great ambassador for this awesome sport for sure.
What you mean is Canadian?
What? Canadian ambassador, but the world ambassador. This guy's been it's an amazing career. Like, if by any chance people don't understand, or are not familiar. Alex has won 3 world championships, but before that he was in the NASCAR series, like the best of the best of the best. Like, to have those two different disciplines is just absolutely amazing, and because your skills have to be so dedicated to one discipline, and for him to go from one to the other is really amazing.
Yeah, and I have some questions about that, but before we get to that, tell us a little bit about your sim racing experience. Like, where did you start? How long you been iRacing, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I started when I was very young, of course, and started on all the other games. We'll call it games because they were more of a game than sim. But back then, we're talking 2006, 7. So all the World of Outlaws 2002 games, Dirt to Daytona, Gran Turismo, and everything. So I was doing road, oval, NASCAR, everything. I was just trying to get better and better, and just trying to get used to all that, and really got into iRacing in 2013, and then I started doing all the rookie classes and all that, and I got to where I wanted to be in the Pro Series, so Pig Series. And back then, there were only offering 10 grand to win the series, just like the sprint cars and the late model at the moment. So my idol was Ray Alfala, and I wanted to be like him. So I just started, and I wanted to be like him. So I've done all the ladder, and I've done everything. And that's when I got together with Apex Racing Academy in UK. So they were a United Kingdom based team, so a professional esports team. And I just texted them, and I was just trying to get into the academy and trying to get better. And from since then, we went through Pro Series on the road. So at Formula One, so I did a qualified the first time out. Really, it was an excellent year. We finished right on the verge of not qualifying, where we got lucky and we did what we had to do, and a lot of practice and asphalt, same thing. So we did a lot of practice. We got in the series twice, Peak Series and what is today the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Racing Series. And we did a lot of races and good results. I mean, I think we finished second at Pocono, and I got fourth at Chicagoland, and I got fourth at Sonoma, and did a lot of good results. Just it takes a lot of setup building, and the higher the team is, so the bigger the team, and when you bring all the knowledge together on oval stuff, you have to remember that team was a road course based. Yeah. And then we got all together, everybody that was actually running oval in that academy and the team, to get together, and we went from running officials to making the Pro Series, so Peak Series. And then from then, I did all these races, and after that, they came out with dirt, and then I was just hooked up because that's what I've been wanting to do, and my dad's been racing dirt when he was younger, and that's what we got around here. Jordan Drummond, Grenby, RPM Speedway, that's all we got here, and there's not a lot of asphalt track. So since dirt came out, that's what I've been doing, and we've had the Empire Spirit Sprint Series coming, since ever to our local tracks, and since now, that's what I want. That's what I wanted to be doing in sprint cars. So that's pretty much where it started, and here we are.
It's been an absolutely amazing run, and one of the things I want to touch on, and maybe just get some clarification, because I know the first year it was a virtual to reality. I'm not sure how it came about, but in 2017 you got to run in a real sprint car, and I don't know how you were probably 14 then or something like that.
I was 17. I just turned 17 in April and that year, and
okay.
For summer I started late, of course, but it's only from sim racing, so it's absolutely crazy to see all that, and for myself, I even feel myself I'm old, but I'm still young.
So, but what would you say about Roger?
No, he's still young.
Oh no.
Roger doesn't even believe that.
Yeah. So, but my understanding of that race is that you went out. It was out west somewhere, and you were going to run. And a lot of the guys were concerned because here's this kid coming out. All he's ever done is iRace. He's never been in a real car. They were going to put you in a 360. That's my understanding. And they somehow determined that they'd let you on the track if you were in a 305. Is that true that there were 360s and 305s?
Yeah, well, it was not actually 360s. It was more because it was kind of like Race Saver and some sportsman sprints and some different categories because it was Edmonton Castro Raceway, and I don't know exactly how the rules were working. I was younger, and it's just English for me. It was hard when I first started, and in 2017 I really got more into it, and I was still talking very good the past few years. I got better and better on English, of course, speaking. But it was a lot of things to gather together, so I didn't really understand everything that was going on. But there was a lot of drivers with bigger motor than us, of course. And we were about 100 horsepower down from what we had, which is not that big, but it's still big on a track, especially when it's tacky. That's why in the feature we're coming up. We were going faster and faster, and I never ran a real race. I had probably 20, 30 laps before the weekend, and get everything ready, the seat and everything get together. When I was younger, 2017, I was very small. Now I grown up a bit more, but I was very slim. Like I was very, very small. It was really hard to get myself in the car and all that. So once I got everything done, we did very good. Went 18-6 in the feature and
Yeah,
brought
I was
home
gonna
back a trophy
Yeah.
for my first ever race.
I was going to say you might not have spoke English well, but you knew the word hard charger because you were the hard charger in that race, right?
Yeah, and I didn't know about it up to until after the race. I was in the moment and really just trying to go up the ladder, and just since then, it's been trying to get into something and try to race something. And get on track. Getting on track every week is better and better because you can have seat time, and it's all about having a lot of experience on the track. But in my situation, I have to make sure that every time I go on track, I have to learn as much as possible because money is short. We can't just go out there and buy everything that we can. So we have to make sure that we can stretch everything we have to be able to put everything together.
So was it after your first or second World Championship? Did that money go towards buying a sprint car?
Yeah, we try to put everything together to buy the 360 sprint car to go race Empire Super Sprints. Of course, we had issues with the engine at the first place. We had some issues there, but we got everything. We will try to have everything ready back. But since then it's been trying to get back on the road, but there's COVID stuff, so
COVID stuff.
That didn't help it.
So this coming season, do you plan on being on the real track?
Hopefully, like I mentioned to a lot of people, is I'm able to drive anything with four wheels and a motor. That's all I want to do. I want to race every day of my life. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to do, and just be able to go race is something. It's a nice feeling. It's a great feeling that honestly I don't want to get rid of. It's just that's what I want to be doing. But it's just trying to get the money together and try to go race. And we're open for any partnership and trying to go race as much as possible.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm really hoping to see you back at Ashweekend and not just as a crew, but as a driver. That would be just absolutely awesome. I thought it was going to happen last year, and of course, COVID screwed all that up. But can't wait to see what you can do in a real car.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to have everything ready. When we went to race and with ESS, and we're actually doing really good. We had good lap times in the feature after the second night. First night was just we rushed everything, and that's not good in racing. You can't just rush everything, and we try to do everything at the same time. And the first night was not great as part of getting used to the track and stuff like that. And even if we went practice, getting used to everything and not knowing a lot about by ourselves, sprint cars there's a lot of new things to learn, and it's not completely the same as iRacing. You have a lot more things to do, and I'm all down to do all that. It's just that you have to learn it. So second night at Fulton, we did very good. We made the dash and we finished fourth, and we're running pretty much almost the same lap time as Pollico Giovanni was running first in the dash, and we're down on the piston pretty much. So I can't believe how it went. It went super great. Just can't wait to have exactly the good stuff and be able to be on pretty much the same thing as everybody else as much as possible. These small tracks are actually good because you don't have to have a big motor. You can run a decent motor that can do good. But just real life is you have to get the motor. That's pretty much the biggest thing. So if you can get that, then you can actually adapt and do great. So we definitely did good.
That's awesome. I've been carrying a conversation, Preston. I don't want it. If you got some.
Yeah, I did say I had some questions there, and you completely hijacked the whole thing. But anyway, no. So just getting back to iRacing a little bit, because I know just knowing a little bit about you, I knew you started on the asphalt side of things, and when dirt came out, you gravitated towards that. Do you ever go back and run asphalt stuff now, or do you find you're just so sucked into all the dirt, different stuff that the asphalt's just kind of takes a back seat?
I still do a few times to time. I actually did this week 2 race officials and Skip Barber series and some other stuff just to practice, have fun. It's good to keep a nice feel for everything. Just like when we went to race in Michigan, the modified. Didn't expect that to happen in real life. We actually went there and raced there, and I never raced on asphalt before. So it's important on iRacing to use it to get ready for anything. Anything that could happen, any drive, any seat, anything. And that's my plan. that's what I'm doing, and I know that my goal is to go race real life. It's not to stay on iRacing. And a lot of people might think that, oh, he's just doing this to stay on iRacing, but that's not the case. I'm doing this, but of course, this ABR setup shop and everything that we just started, but it's just the plan is to go race real life. And we started off and went from iRacing to real life. Well, we'll keep on doing this, and that's my plan, especially for the dirt side. Asphalt side, it can definitely happen again, but for the dirt side, it's definitely what I'm looking for.
So, in the iRacing, like, what's next for Alex Bergeron? So you've got your third world title, and now there's a bit of downtime. Like, that's a rough term, but a bit of downtime. What's next on the horizon from an iRacing perspective?
Honestly, it's to get ready for the next World Championship already. It's just like real life.
How about the late model? Will you be doing the late models again?
Definitely. We're locked in the series. We finished 6th last year. Definitely our worst season so far we've had in 6th for the championship. We finished 3rd the last 2 years previously to that. But we're still locked in. They take top 15. I don't know if they're gonna make one, or I don't know what's going on because they didn't talk about it yet. We don't know what's going on. They might do the series later in the season, just like the sprint cars. We had it in basically the winter, which is new to me and to everybody. But we'll see how it goes in late models. We'll be there for sure, and we're getting ready for that in late models as much as possible. Do a lot of races, and especially on Sundays. We're actually running the World of Thunder Esports League on basically 4 classes of street stocks, sprint cars, big blocks, and late models. So we're trying to do every races there is with money in it. So that's pretty much what all the pro drivers are doing, just trying to just going out there, just like Kyle Larson, just going where the money is and doing all that. So pretty much the same thing. Yeah. We're just trying to do races as much as possible and really just get used to the cars and improve. It's all about improving all the time. If you stay straight, if you don't doing anything, then you're never gonna improve. So we're always improving, always working. Everything is organized. It's really we went from starting a team to making sure everything is right, and since then we won every world championship on the sprint cars since we started the team. So Team ABR Sports, pretty incredible to say, but organization is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Just another. So a couple of questions. Let's talk about your rig, because the last time I talked to you at Ashweekend, you actually had 2 setups. You had one at your grandparents', and then you had one at home. One was triples and one was DR, I think, at the time, if I'm not mistaken. But what do you use now?
So basically, I'm helping my grandparents out right now, so I'm basically always at my grandparents' home. So always, they're getting old and older, so just we're basically a natural helper kind of thing. Definitely taking care of them and all that sort of stuff, and that's why my rig's here. It's not basically a rig. It's just a homemade stand, and me and my dad built, and everything holding the screens and stuff like that. I got triple screen, but I'm not using it to race. I use the Oculus and I use the single screen just to practice. You can't just have your eyes in the Oculus all day long, or every day. You can't do this. So when I do practice, it's when I use the single screen, and when I do race, is through the Oculus.
Yeah, if you use the Oculus too much, your face will look like Preston's does right now.
Yeah. That's the problem. I tell Roger all the time that I hate doing the podcast right after a race because I just get a giant red face every single time.
Yeah. I have these lines. Like, I got enough wrinkles, but I get these wrinkles. I'll come upstairs from the Oculus, and I've got new lines.
Yeah, I actually want to get one of these. You can add on to the Oculus. It's just for your eyes, underneath your eyes. When you have that foam, you can order some different foams. I definitely want to get one of those. If anybody knows, this, definitely trying to look for that.
Are you talking like prescription lenses or?
No, he's talking like about the foam eyepieces that go around the outside.
Oh yeah. I've seen those on Amazon.
Yeah, I'll definitely look for that because that'd be really helpful.
So with the COVID thing and all the stuff going on and all the real world guys getting out on the track, and I know you you coached a few of them. So you, from my understanding, you coached Chris Bell, Brad Sweet, Logan Schuchart. So how was that, man?
Oh, that's an incredible feel. Definitely along the way, made some friends. Of course,
Yeah.
I've talked to Brad Sweet and helped him out, and all that. Really a great feeling. We've had a lot of fun doing this, and when they raced on TV on Fox Sport 1 and all that, they definitely got better. And Christopher Bell actually won one of the races, I think, a lot of races actually, and Schuchart great top 3 runs, and everybody have been extremely good. I also helped Mike Maney as well on the big block side when he was racing in real life, big blocks, and still to this day. But on the sprint cars, I have helped him out. So definitely a great feeling. Of course, like I said, it's these guys are incredible, and it's to get there and hopefully one day to be like them. So that's the plan.
Yeah, those are not bad names to be associated with. So I guess really you want to be the next Ty Majeski.
Yeah, I mean that's since I've went to that real 305 and race, and I know I can do it. We've been working hard, and I've been putting everything on the line to do it, and that's my drive. I want to be able to race in real life as much as possible. The feel you get in a real car is nothing can beats that. It's really, if you can do it and you like it, you have to go for it. So we're going to do everything we can to be able to do that.
Well, I'm really hoping to see you, like I say, out of that. My goal is just to get in the back of the 2-seater at Ashweekend, but I want to see you in that main seat just rip the lip there, buddy, because I know I can only, if you get the right car, it's just look out. It's going to be dynamite. So, but tell us something. You've got a new venture going. I wanted to talk about the 3 World Championships and all the the challenges there and which ones were the toughest. But I don't know how we are for time, or we can come back to it. But we don't want to not talk about your latest venture, sitting there on your shirt, ABR Setup Shop. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we started that a few weeks ago, actually in December 16th. We launched it, and really for me, it's a pleasure to help people out. And basically, it's a school. I go more on the side of the school thing than just selling setups. That's not my point. It's to help people out and provide them with absolutely great things, great adjustments, and everything that you need to know to be better on the iRacing side for dirt things. So dirt cars and everything. So ABR Setup Shop is basically a school. We basically sell weekly setups for the drivers that are racing the weekly official races. So there's basically every hour there's a race on the official side of things on iRacing. And some, they have league races, so we offer custom setups. So that's just, you need a setup made for that specific race. Well, you just order a custom setup, and I'm gonna make sure myself to make one and get it ready for you. It's just a buy-in seat almost. You have your setup ready. You just have to sit in your car and you just have to drive. So that's my point. I want to give back basically of what I went through. And a lot of people have helped me since I started on dirt, and for me, it's my way of giving back and making people faster and making a community out of it. So ABR Setup Shop.
No, so I was looking at your site, like your one-on-one coaching, like is super affordable. I was surprised. I thought it would be a lot more than what it was, and if anybody out there is looking for some help, never mind the setups. Like the setups are awesome, but to get some one-on-one, I know a guy in our league, a guy in our racing team, had a session with Tim Ryan, and he said it helped him immensely. So, Tim Ryan's looking at your tail tank these days. So, the guy should be out there, and it would be money well spent for sure. I've even considered it in my own, get me back from the back of the pack to the middle of the pack or something. But,
Well, I was going to say I think that says something about what you're doing, because you could sell somebody the best setup that's out there. I mean, it could be the absolute best you can get, but without some seat time and practice, and really, if you don't have much experience, some actual instruction, it's you're given tools to somebody that don't know how to use them. And so, and of course, there's some middle ground there in real life, but overall, without that practice, it doesn't help you to go out and buy the best setup out there. So I think that says something a lot about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, of course. Like you mentioned, we're not trying to go out there and say, oh, we're making money. That's not the point. We're here, and I want to help people out, and I want to make sure that we're all together. It's almost a big team. Everybody that comes to ABR Setup Shop, we're trying to get together, be a big team all together, and just go out there and basically dominate. We want to go out there and show that, hey, we can do this together, and we can be up front, and it's awesome. That's an awesome feeling to be able to say that, oh, you have an under contract, ABR Setup Shop. We're there and we're ready to conquer the races, and it's not only smaller races. We're entering some big races, and we can go out there and do great. And it's just, we're actually cheap. Like Roger mentioned, we're cheap, but we're actually offering a lot of things, and we want to make sure that everybody's just faster. And my point is that every time somebody comes to our coaching session, if they come out of our coaching session with a smile on their face and they're better and they feel more confident and they want to come back, and just because it's so intense and there's so many things a lot of drivers that don't know about. There's so more than just, oh, you change the spacers, or there's so more than that. It's wheel settings. It's in depth of everything. Track changing, weather changes, and graphic settings, everything like that. So it's not just setups. It's everything. So we go through everything as much as possible, and in either in an hour or 2 hours. Of course, at 2 hours, it's a longer time, so a lot more on track with me and helping the driver out. But in an hour, we can do a lot of things in an hour, but it goes fast. It goes pretty fast, and everything is rolling down. Everything goes super fast, and then it's actually a good thing. But I wish it's like I said, everything goes super fast, and it's awesome to be able to help people out.
Well, that's awesome, and I know it's just fresh out the gate, and well, we were talking a little bit about that before we did the show, and certainly we'll be talking to you more about it later. But and what's the website? Is it abrsetupshop.com?
Yeah, so it's www.abrsetupshop.com.
Okay, and do you have a Facebook page as well under the same name?
ABR Setup Shop.
Yep. Okay. So everybody can go there because you want to check it out, because I was pleasantly surprised. Like this is even for a guy on a fixed income, this is affordable stuff. So it's something I'll definitely be looking into.
So to all the guys in our league, if Roger beats you in a couple of weeks, you'll know why.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So can't go without saying that you've got a number of helpers, and Jason Nygaard's been with you for seems forever. But there's a new guy on the scene this year, and there was a noticeable absence in our league. The Dominator was gone, Brandon Schultz. So Brandon was involved helping you through your getting your World Championship, really. And how did that come about?
We've been talking for a while now. I'd say early 2020, and basically just whenever we were racing in rivals, and then whenever we were racing for the championship, me, Jason, and him, we were battling all for the top spot basically. And we started talking basically after the Knoxville race that he almost beat me. So he was really, really fast, and since then, I always respect him the highest I can be. He's a great guy, and just the standout guy, and he's been helping me, for the championship. And I kind of told him, I said, hey, you just maybe we can do some laps here and just have some extra help, especially in this World Championship. And we're a whole team and we're helping each other out, but we have to be a lot of people to be able to just go and compete, especially like I said before the interview here. There was a lot of people out there on the track all together, and it's definitely a good thing to have more people to help out. And he definitely did a good job with me, and I just can't thank him enough.
No, it was. I'll tell you, it was great when you were running the Rivals, the Elite League that basically we run now. Um, but see, when Brandon was out there running, I was he's running with Bergeron. Like it really gave our whole league a lot of credibility that our top guys were they couldn't beat you, but they could keep up with you. So it was a testament to some of the best guys we've got. And I know Brandon's been a great guy and a great help to our league as well. So that's very cool. But then there's somebody else. There's Rebecca is on the scene. So does Rebecca drive?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's been starting to do the Sunday night Wolf Thunder Esports League races, and she's been doing extremely good. First race out, she went from 21st to 7th. I'm not sure about that. I think she finished 7th for sure at Limeland. So definitely, she's very good. Definitely, it takes some laps, of course, but she's doing awesome.
Well, she's got ABR setups, right? So
Yeah, but she's putting in the work, and we're like I said, we're trying to be a team that stays together. We're a small team, but you know what? We're putting everything together, everything on the line. We're doing the work, and we're making sure everything is right. And it takes a lot of practice, and
yeah.
she practices, and she's doing awesome. So definitely,
Well,
she's gonna get better and better, and she's gonna be up front soon.
so the one reason I was bringing up her name is we're recruiting, so we're looking for and we are looking for more women to get involved. We've got a few women in our league now, and so that's something else I'll talk to you about later. But we need to get Rebecca in there and let her go up our ladder because we got the 4 divisions of 360s, and it'd be cool to see her work her way up that. And anyways, that's something we could talk about. But
Yeah, of course, but she's already racing the 410, so
that's
that's already a good thing.
that's awesome, man. Totally awesome. So to go back to those, which was the toughest one to win the championships?
Definitely this year. This year has been, like I mentioned earlier, definitely the hardest championship I've been through. But of course, like I said, just in a lot of people on track together, and that definitely was tougher. Compared to the first championship, 2018, 2019, the drivers were more, through 3 to 4 drivers a team. But this year has been uh, 2 special team together, and that's been extremely hard because we're talking 10 to 12 drivers all together. So that's definitely hard to go out there when there's only 35 spots out there on the track. There's 12 cars all in basically alliance in the same team. It's definitely hard. But nonetheless, if we put that aside, we've been able to put our name up there and just do great and have decent runs every time we qualify. And the first part of the year has been definitely hard for qualifyings for myself and the team. Just when you go out there, it's not like real life. Real life, you go into World of Outlaws race or any races, you can have a difference between first and let's say the last car goes out for qualifying. You also have to include, time trial 1 car at a time. The trial's going to get slicker and slicker and slicker. So the guys going out late and Pilger out late, he's definitely going to go slower. And it's not because he's slow. It's just because it's how it works. But on the iRacing World Championship Series, everybody qualifies at the same time. 1 car on track. You can only see 1 car, but everybody qualifies at the same time. So the track is the same for everybody. So when you go out there, you can't make no mistakes. You can't make anything. You have to be perfect every single lap you're doing, every single lap in the feature, practice, everything. And the lap times are going to be a tenth, not even between first and 35th. That's insane. And I never seen that before. Like in real life, you're never going to see something like that.
Right.
So that's why I feel like, there's a lot of drivers saying that too. I'm not the only one saying this. iRacing sometimes is harder than real life because of this. The competition is extremely hard. It's not the same thing. It's definitely, you have a lot of things on iRacing that you're not going to have in real life, and there's a lot of things in real life you're not going to have in iRacing. But to have this amount of competition, you need to be on your A game every single week. And that's why it's the drive. It's already missing me to be able to go a race on Mondays. Even if it's stressful, it's the drive to be able to go out there on Mondays and fight and to go out there for a championship. And it's the stress and it's missing me already. Every year it's like that. It's it's definitely difficult, but we definitely got it done. 4 wins, 9 top 5s. We did what we had to do. Definitely, we put all the work together, and like I said, Brendan, Jason, Rebecca, everybody, we did all our job we had to do to win the championship, and we did. So that's what matters.
It was an awesome run. And Preston, you got to ask your question that you always ask every week.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I know where it's going to go.
yes. So so you probably don't know this, Alex, because again you hadn't heard of us before. But every week we have a different driver on, or typically it's a driver, and every week I ask them who would be their biggest rival. Usually it's in our league, but obviously it's a little different in this case. So who's your biggest rival?
Well, definitely, if we're talking World Championship, well, on iRacing, definitely the runner-up position. So Aiden Cardwell this year definitely has been extremely fast. Definitely a fast driver overall. He's definitely standing out, just like all of us, and that's really doing all the races, the big blocks, late miles, streets, everything. Definitely one of that kind of driver. He's really fast. But like I mentioned, on track when you have a lot of teammates out there and it's helping you a little bit more, definitely a bit easier to go out there and have some help to rely on. But definitely this year was definitely my biggest rival. The previous year has been Tim Ryan. He's been always fast, and definitely there. This year's been a difficult year for him. Even though he won 2 races, he's had some bad lucks, but overall, both of these drivers were really fast. So I actually remember this race this year at Eldora. I had to fight both of them, and definitely got it done, but definitely was fun.
So
And
yeah, I was going to say. Well, I was getting ready to say you ask a question every week, and so now it's your turn.
yeah, so you can ask this to anybody else, but like this guy, what's the answer going to be? So what's been your greatest memory or experience on iRacing? Like for you, good God, it could be one of several. But what's your best memory or your most memorable event in iRacing?
Definitely tough to say. There's a lot of them, but I would say this year's championship and of this season has definitely been one of my favorites. One of my biggest moments to be able to win the champion, like I said, with the competition there was, and having a little bit of luck definitely is helping. Last year, 2020, we've had a lot of bad lucks. We came up and was able to win the championship still, but this year has been even harder. And luckily we've had a bit of more luck, and I'm thankful for everything. But all the times where we transferred into a World Championship Series for Road, Peak Series, and all the World Championships that we've won, these are the moments that really stand out. And honestly, every time we're practicing, and these are memorable moments. We take time all together and we practice, and we're just, like I said, we're a small team, so to go out there and we're a small team, we go out in the big races, do great, that's a win. That's already a win. Even if we're in top 5, we're not 10 out there, we're only 1. So it's great. So as we go, we have Rebecca coming up, and Jason as well is doing a lot of races. He actually won 2 championships this past 2 weeks, I think. So the last 2 weeks, he's won the HMR both series, so 360 and 410s, and Brendan is not part of the team, but for me, it's almost like he's on the team, but he's not. But he's been doing great, and it's awesome to have him that helped us this year, and we're good buddies. So I'm just glad we're able to do this all together, and that's all the memorable moments, really.
How about your least favorite track?
That's a hard one. I have a few of them. Depending on how the track is, so if the track is different, if the track goes only to high side, only bottom, depending, it really depends on how the track is. We could talk about Lanier.
That's the one.
Yeah, Lanier is definitely not one of my favorites, just because the track mostly, if it's not on the top, it's definitely going to be right above that shelf on the bottom, and when the track goes slick, I'm able to go through the slick easily, but I just don't like it. I really don't, just because I don't know. It's definitely one of my least favorites, and other tracks, USA is definitely not my favorite. Definitely all the tracks people don't like.
This week our league's been a weed sport, and I can't wait to get we ran midgets last night. The net was at Lanier, so I raced it just to get away from weed sport. That track drives me nuts.
Yeah, I like weed sport, but it, like I said, it really depends on how the track state is. If the track state, like let's say you go to Lanier, but the track state is great and you have 2 lines to run on, like if you're able to run 2 lines and the weather is good, it's nice. It's a nice track. It was just like the SRL this last week. The track went just to the top. USA, never seen that before, ever. The bottom not coming in at USA, and I'm always ready to run the bottom there, and really dominant there all the time when the track goes to bottom, just like Williams Grove. Definitely dominant there, and went there, and I was running 8, and we got wrecked a little bit. We got damaged, but still, I was not able to pull away, and it's not because I'm just slow, like out of nowhere. Nobody could pass nobody. So it's just like if you go into real life, it'd be rubbered up. Nobody can pass anybody. If you get off the groove, then you can pass. But if you don't make no mistake, nobody passes nobody. So that's one of these races where I don't like the track itself, or it's these kind of moments where the track for me I will not like it, but I have to go along with it. And just honestly, I love all the tracks, but when track is changing, that's a different thing.
So it's Wednesday night when we record this, and we were going to have a big surprise for everybody because Alex was going to show up in Elite, the former champion. We still had one provisional left, and actually we've assigned it to you, Alex. So next week, if you can make it out, we'd love you to come out. We'll make sure Brandon's on the track. Maybe he'll get that opportunity to beat you, but. It's been great being with you, man. It's I could talk all night long here, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think we'll start closing out, but I want you to know, like, kind of how you feel about Brandon not being on your team. Our league in general, like we're pulling for you. You were a part of Elite back, I guess a season or two ago, and so you're kind of our guy. We pull for you, so it was cool to see you win the championship, especially with your connection with Brandon, who takes no issue with beating all of us on a regular basis. So it was cool to see, and we're super excited you came on, and we'll be pulling for you as the future goes on, especially once you get back in a real car. We'll make sure we're sharing your results out then.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I like I said at the beginning, I really appreciate it for being here and thankful, and it's always a good time. And even if I didn't know about this podcast before, definitely can't wait to be back here and talk to you guys and everybody. It's always fun to talk to everyone. And I'm just gladly able to be here and talk to you guys. So if you guys need me for anything else, just let me know. I can definitely talk.
Well, for sure. I want the next time I see you, I hope it's at a Schweigen, and you're in a car. So I'm really hoping for that, buddy.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope we can be back on track soon. And with this COVID stuff, definitely a hard one for everybody, of course. But for us, it's definitely difficult. So we'll try to get after it, and just like everybody else, get back on track and hope for the best.
Well, it's been great having you on, and really appreciate you taking the time. And congratulations again, and look forward to the fourth. The fourth time coming up, whenever that is. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, hopefully we can get it done. It's definitely going to be hard, but if we keep on doing what we've been doing, being organized and doing what we have to do, I think we can do good. But always finishing top 3 in the championship, like this kind of competition, it's already a good thing. So being in the championship is already a huge thing, of course. Don't get me wrong, but finishing in top 3 is definitely the goal, of course.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
My close personal friend, Alex Bergeron.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
So that was I was really looking forward to that. I've known Alex he's not a close personal friend, but
so you're admitting that now?
No. Let me tell you a story, because I met Jean Beliveau, who you would know. Some people might not remember Jean Beliveau, one of the greatest hockey players of all time. And I met him at some autograph signing, and I had him sign, to Roger, my close personal friend. So that's where that whole thing. And I had
Oh,
that
okay.
sitting up at work all the time, to my close. So I've had all sorts of different people. We used to my close personal friend. So
We
that's where that.
probably should have told Alex that story. He
Oh
probably
yeah.
thinks you're pretty creepy at this point.
We should have, and especially Jean Beliveau, he would have probably. Well, he's from Quebec. He would know. He was a hero, right, in Quebec. So, yeah. So he was going to watch this podcast. So hopefully he watched a little bit after, and he'll know that. Yeah, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
It all started with Jean Beliveau.
It does make more sense now.
Another champion and one of the greatest, hockey players, and we just got finished talking one of the greatest iRacers. But I met Alex. I used to chat with Alex. He was a Canadian, and he just seemed like a nice kid. And then he was. I'm trying to remember the guy's name that he was. He was crewing for one of the guys that came to the Canadian Nationals, and
Steve.
no,
Oh.
it was I think it was number 10. It was a blue car, and because the guy used to race down in Florida too. I remember seeing him down there, but I guess he had said he was going there or something. So I contacted him, said, "Hey, can we meet up?" And met him in the pits, and just had a great conversation with him, and just lots of enthusiasm, and just a real nice, real gentleman. Like I just one of those guys you really like. And I actually, and then I had said, if you come back, like when he was supposed to come back this past year because of COVID, and I said, like, you got a place to stay. I'm 20 minutes from the track, probably better than camping or whatever the heck he was doing. And that was, it wasn't a solid plan, but he had talked about he was interested in possibly doing that, which it still stands, Alex. If you ever come down, you got a place to stay. So yeah, it's just great. I've been following the Monday night thing. I couldn't follow the races this year because we were obviously busy on Monday nights. But in the past, I've watched most of the races. They're great races to watch. Although I've come to realize, like our Monday Night League, the Renegades, it's as intense that is, and the fact that Brandon and a few guys could almost run with them, in the Elite Series, really, really, that sort of set the mark and made me respect just how good the guys in our league were. That that it had grown to that point where our skill sets were getting almost to the professional level, and I think Brandon tried the road to pro, and I think he missed by like one spot this year or something. So
Yeah.
you might see Brandon up in there before too long because it's it's all good. But yeah, it was great. I just wish him all the best, and he does. He just needs a break. He just needs to get some team that's got the money behind him and can push a driver like him to success, because if he got in a good car, guaranteed, give him half a season and then let him go, and he would be just absolutely dynamite.
Yeah, and it's definitely like he doesn't seem discouraged by it, which is awesome because he's going to keep going after it. But it does. I mean, you look at the results, and we talked a little bit about it with him after our interview had concluded. This one thing I really like about Alex is he's an open book. If you ask him a question, he's going to answer you honestly, but he's not going to give you. It's a hockey joke that I'm sure you're familiar with. You get an interview and you get the same answer. Nobody. You got to put pucks on net, get the pucks deep. You just say the same thing no matter what.
Yeah.
Alex doesn't do that. Alex gives you a thoughtful answer, and I really appreciate that. And he talked to us for quite a while after that.
And he was respectful. He didn't trash anybody or anything. It was all respectful too. So it was it's very cool. It's great to see a guy like him, dominated that sport like he does. It's just he's an alien. He's an alien.
And you hear about the times he's been able to get on a track in real life, and I mean, he hasn't won, but he's been successful. I mean, that's the thing.
He knows he can do it.
Right. And so it's like you're saying, he's just waiting for that one connection to just take off.
Glenn Stiers, if you're listening, here's the kid that needs to be in your car, because he could just go places, that's for sure, and would be a credit. That's the thing, is he would be a credit to anybody's team. He's well spoken, and it would just be be good.
He's a professional in
Yeah.
every sense of the word.
So you're saying we were preparing for this one, but actually we had some technical issues and stuff and didn't get the one off last week, and we had a guest that was coming on. I don't want to give away secrets because he's a pretty cool dude, so we need to reset that and get the guy that was going to be on last week on. So that should be. I'm looking forward to that interview very much too, for sure.
Yeah, and so we won't always protect our guests to the point we have this week, but we were pretty excited about having Alex on. But I know we've made a couple of mentions in races, and for some reason everybody seems to think we're pulling Tony Stewart on here, and that's been a lot of guesses, and
Greg Boydell thought it was going to be Rico Abreu, I think, because he's saying, does he have a mullet and did he just have a birthday?
I appreciate everybody thinking that we have the pull to get Tony Stewart on here, and maybe one day we will. But you guys got to be sharing this out a little bit better if we're going to get Old Smoke's attention. So maybe next week.
I was trying to explain to my wife the significance of having Alex on. I said it would be kind of like, Garth Brooks asking to, willing to play at your house party or something. Like it's in that realm in the iRacing world. I mean, he's a 3-time world champion.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is very true. It's an iRacer's. He's an iRacer's celebrity for sure.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
For sure.
One line, anyways.
So this is obviously being released on Sunday morning. Well, hopefully, if all things go as well as they usually do. And this evening is the Super Bowl. So now I'm going to be completely honest. Roger and I haven't talked about this prior, other than that we might throw something out there. So I want to establish some sort of wager on the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if you want to bet the spread or just the money line. Or
I don't know. So here's where I come from. I used to be and we had a bit of a thread on this earlier with the team. I used to be a big fan, hockey, football, baseball, and I just got turned off by all the salaries and the strikes and all that crap. And I watched like basically zero anymore, but the one thing I always like to watch is when two GOATs play, greatest of all time. So when you've got Elway back in the day, or now my mind goes blank with the names. The Tampa guy, help me, the New England Patriot guy.
Oh, Tom Brady.
Quarterback. Yeah, Tom Brady, and then the guy from. I'm really great with names here today.
Big fan. These guys are close personal friends of Rogers.
No. I just whenever it's like a quarterback against a quarterback. Like I missed the game last week with the guy from New Orleans playing Brady. Like those are
Drew Brees.
Yeah, and then
I told y'all we didn't prepare for this.
I know, and the guy, the Denver Broncos guy, who played for Indianapolis.
You said Elway. Oh, you mean Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning, yeah. So anytime any of those two quarterbacks play each other, that's when I watch, because those games are absolutely incredible. So yeah, I will watch the Super Bowl because the kid is amazing. He's going to be one of the greatest of all time, and of course Elway just amazing. So
Brady,
it's Brady, yeah. that's how far. I haven't watched a football game all season, but but those are, I'll see sometimes. Okay, there's this guy playing this guy, and I kind of got to watch, but then it doesn't happen. But
all right, so before
that's a whole lot about nothing. You should cut all this stuff out.
No, absolutely not. This is an outtake for sure, but it's staying in. So before we get to who's taking who or how we do this, we got to establish stakes. So what are the stakes?
I don't know who you're taking.
Well, does that matter?
Okay, so when we finally get to meet, one of us has got to do something for the other guy or something.
Well, why don't
It's more embarrassing in person when you got to do something.
This is true. Why? Well, I mean, I was gonna say you had to like shotgun a beer or something, but that's not a whole lot of punishment, I don't think.
It's a challenge for me at my age.
No, it's easy. All right, so I was trying to figure out how we could do something like race wise, but I don't know that we gotta.
Few moments later.
Okay, the loser has to buy the entrance fees to the next time we're at Volusia together.
All right, that's it.
Or Ashweekend or Volusia, wherever we get to meet first.
Yeah, okay, that's a deal.
The other guy buys the tickets. Okay,
whatever racetrack we end up at, where we meet up, might be Williams Grove or something. Who knows? But
what are we betting on?
Well, so I'm assuming the winner.
Okay,
but
so can I pick first?
Well, do you want to bet the spread or straight up?
Not straight up, because I can't do that spread shit. I don't even know how good. I think I'm going to pick a team that's going to lose. So maybe I need the spread. So if I took Tampa Bay, how many points are you going to give me?
Well, so what we can do is I can look up the actual spread. So we're gonna.
Okay.
This is.
So I'll take Brady. I want to go with Brady. He's an old guy. I'm sticking with the old guys.
All right. Well, hold on. Let's look at the spread first, because he might be like heavily favored, and you don't want him or something. So this is primetime TV here, where we're actually looking up things on our phones during the broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to edit it out. You guys can just.
Most people probably turn this off. Now.
Yeah.
We got some big announcements. You better stick around for, because we got some major announcements after this.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Let me find the Super Bowl here. Why don't you make the announcement?
Yeah.
And I'll look this up while you're making the announcement, and then we'll figure it out.
Well, I got to think. So a couple of things. One is we got a major charity event coming, and we've been working on refining that. By Sunday, when this comes out, it will be named. The date will be there. The one thing I can say is the money raised will again be for the Steve King Foundation, and this time it'll go to Grady Chandler. I hope I said that name right.
You did.
But there's a young guy that really needs a lot of help, and we're working to get possibly his family or somebody on the show. So looking forward to that opportunity, but it should be good, and it should be a new, unique event. So we'll be announcing that on hopefully this Sunday. So that's the one thing coming. The other one that I was thinking of is just there's a new group in town, the Retreads. So I formed a group called the Retreads. It's the matinee races. Half of the drivers are like 65 to. There's 5 or 6 guys that are 70 years old or older. So the young guys, if you show up, you got a good chance of winning. And we all ride around the back together. It's great. You know, we have a great time, and we don't get lapped, so we're competitive. But we have a really good time. Your dad's included in that. He's kind of an honorary member. How old is he? Did you say he's 60?
He's 60, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So that's our minimum age to qualify for the Retreads. So it's not a team, but it's an association. So you could be on any team, racing team, but it's kind of like, you know, the Legion or whatever. Like, it's an association. So you are an honorary member of the Retreads. So that's coming. We have a Discord room. You'll see it in Discord, the Retreads, and that's where that'll be our new home. And there's me and John Rayner and Gary Taylor. Steve Bixler has been showing up. Steve Maurer, Bob DeGood. I've been meaning to invite Jeff Barker to get in there, because he comes out for those races. And
is Jeff old enough?
I think Jeff is. Maybe a pre-age. I think is he not 60?
No, I think he might be upset with you. I don't think he's 60.
No, I thought he was like 60, 65 or something.
If I would have never guessed that.
I'm going to get right reared now. I know it's coming.
Probably so. Probably
Have you
so.
looked this up yet, or what?
Yeah, I was just waiting for you to finish.
Okay. I was just killing time for you, man.
Oh, yeah. So the Chiefs, as of recording this, because I know it does change from time to time. Right now, the Chiefs are 3-point favorites. So
you'll give me 7.
Well, you wanted Brady. So
I'm taking Brady and 7 points.
So if Brady loses, if they lose by 2 or less, you still win the bet.
Yeah. No, I need 7 points.
No, I'm not giving you 7 points.
Much later.
Well, give me 5 at least.
No way.
Okay.
1 eternity later.
Okay, 3 points.
3 points.
I don't want to argue. We'll have nobody left on the podcast the way you're going.
Well,
I'll just give in. For the sake of all you viewers that are left, I gave in. Gave 3 points.
Yeah, but you didn't give me anything. The professionals in Las Vegas established this spread.
Okay, so the downside of this is who's going to show up for Skippies?
Yeah, that could be a concern. I, I actually was planning to be there. I'm like you, haven't watched a football game all year, and man, I know it's going to probably be a good game, but I didn't really care. And so I got a couple of texts today. Hey, we were planning on probably coming by your house for the Super Bowl. What should we bring? And I'm like, I don't know. We weren't having anything. So now I have a collection of just under 10 people, for the record, that will be dropping by to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. So I won't be at Skippy's. So we'll see. But I have a feeling the car count could be a little low.
It's we've never really broached this subject, and maybe we'll just kill this whole interview. I don't know, but the whole difference between Canada and the U.S., like we're on lockdown right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our numbers are probably, I'm going to say half of what yours are, but yeah, we're on. In fact, half of what yours are. But I got a neighbor who it's not good, but. Basically, we've been in isolation. Like Gary lives 2 doors down, and Gary and I only talk to each other in iRacing. It's strange, It's anyways.
We're in a really rural area, and the number of cases has been extremely low. So the people we see that come by are from this area too. So we've been careful. We followed the mandates for the most part.
Yeah.
There were early on. There was some gray area. But the number of cases here seem to be coming down significantly anyway, like just in Virginia. But luckily, where we're at in Aylett, hadn't been really anything we had to worry about.
For sure, the more rural, the better. Like we've been pretty fortunate in Brantford. It's 100,000 people, but we're far enough from Toronto, the Toronto area, any of the super dense population areas. It's just there, but things are looking better. So let's hope. That the borders are open, by summer. That might be a bit of a challenge, but let's try to stay positive and hopefully things will work out for sure.
Yep.
So, obviously not a lot to talk about this. We can talk about all sorts of controversial stuff, but I don't even want to go there. There's been a few issues we're dealing with, but I don't know, we've been getting some good car counts. There's a couple that are dropping. It's too late for you now, but this Saturday I'm going to trial a NASCAR pickup race on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. So I'm not even sure if you were aware of that. I mentioned it to the guys in the race today. A few guys have been asking for it. They said, man, if it was Saturday, Joe Backus. That guy? Remember Joe Backus?
Who?
He was, Joe who? He had said, geez, if you had them on Saturday, I'd be there. Okay, so there's the challenge. Do you want to do an over and under on that one?
It sounds very similar to the time he said he was going to come on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I'm going to actually give Joe a shout out, though. The guy that does exist. Joe has been running incredible lately, and just on a more personal note, we did add him to the Kreitz Sim Racing team this past week, so that'll be all official, Facebook official in the next week or so. But he's been running really good, and it was something I told Joe is, him being kind of back around since our team transfer, he really has a way of just kind of keeping things light. So when things are getting tense, even for him, he's good at keeping things light. So maybe one day when we're going to have a particularly tense podcast, maybe then he'll come on. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that would be the time. But anyways, so I'm putting that race on basically for Joe, so we'll know by the time this podcast comes out whether he actually did show up. But it could be that could be an interesting. It wouldn't work in the summer, but I think in the spring and that 10 o'clock in the morning or something on a Saturday morning.
So again, it's too late. So I'm asking for my own curiosity. But what track are you planning on running?
I just thought Daytona.
Okay.
It's the pickups that we're using and Daytona, because it's a big track, you can kind of stay out of trouble.
Yeah, or not.
Or not,
Yeah.
Hey, we ran what race was it? Charlotte. We ran Charlotte last Friday. We ran 50 laps. No, the race was 75. We ran, I don't know, like 25, 30, 40 laps, no cautions.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like 17, 18 guys running. So
It can be done.
And they're dirt guys, so nobody really knew what they were doing other than Aiden. Um,
Yeah.
so it was well, it's great that Aiden's in there because can I pit now, or when do I serve my penalty, or when can I pit? Like, there's all these little rules that unless you're intimate with it, you don't know. So
Right.
it's a great group of guys, and they all run clean as well. As clean as there's still some big ones.
Well, it's Daytona. I mean, what are you going to do? It's going to happen.
But I think that, there's a lot of guys who want to run that stuff, so we're gonna give it a shot on a Saturday morning because it might get a bit of a younger crowd than the 60 and 70-year-olds. So, anyways, but we're having a great time in the matinees. Today we had 17 or 18. I think Monday or Tuesday we had 21 drivers. So this is on the matinees, like unbelievable. It's been great.
That is crazy. I mean, you look at the number of drivers we have in the league, it doesn't surprise me, but we definitely have our regulars, and seeing 20 regulars show up for matinees is pretty cool.
Yep.
It's
and
pretty cool.
We just hit 300 members. So and people need to understand that if you don't show up for a season, like we boot you out of the league. It's not like you can't come back, but it just makes it such a hard administrative job. So we just get the guys out, free up the numbers and stuff. But we've got 300 registered drivers. I'm not saying they're all coming out all the time, but we're getting good car counts all across the board. So
well, and that kind of makes me think something I mentioned. I don't remember who it was to, but I was looking at the Race of Champions thing that I'm still haven't managed to find myself even close to qualifying for.
Yep.
And the fact that we have some dominant guys in our league and dominant teams, really. But the fact that, and these numbers are a little old, but we've had 62 different winners in about 150 races. That seems like a lot to me. I would have thought that number would have been much lower, maybe 35, 40.
Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do the logistics of this Race of Champions. Like I think you only get 60 in a session, so I'm thinking they won't all show up, but it's still pretty cool. We've had over 60 winners. It's a little mind-boggling, and there's more. Like this week, there's been a few guys that haven't won.
Yeah, I was going to say the numbers I just mentioned are old numbers, so it's definitely gone up since then.
I think we'll be up around 80 to 90 guys. So we may have to rethink a little bit of this, how we're going to do it. I don't know. But
well, if we get too late in the season and I haven't qualified, I guess I'm going to have to start taking time off work and running matinees.
But there you go.
I don't know.
And we got a rule. There has to be 10 in the race.
Oh.
So Gary Taylor won. He was in a recruiting race the other night, but there was only 3 guys in it. We've had a drop off this week, so we keep some of big numbers. But we've had the recruiting. We've had a couple where only a few showed up. I'm trying to figure it out. I can't figure it out. Sometimes there's like 20, and anyways, but the car counts are good. I think the racing's getting better overall. The skill sets are getting better. I know the matinees help for that because those tracks get slick, and a lot of guys who aren't used to driving slick tracks are improving their skills.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad included. Your dad is driving so much. He's keeping good solid lines, and he's really running strong. So I think it's good for everybody. Those matinees get a chance to get out there on those slick tracks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I think we're in that middle part of the season. We talked about where we're starting to think about next season. I've already started putting some stuff together, but not heavily. So the next thing will be this charity event that we're doing. But I think we've got a good group of guys. One thing I can throw out right now is we are looking for sponsors for this. We'd like to broadcast the races. It'll only be right now. The tentative plan is 2 days. So a number of races over those 2 days. So we'd like to broadcast them probably before races. So if anybody'd like to step up and help sponsor, the broadcast and or donate a door prize, the ideal thing is, we do iRacing credits or something like that because the shipping issues. So if anybody would like to donate some sort of door prize or sponsor it, we'll promote the crap out of it if somebody's willing to step up, because it's certainly for a good cause. And I think we'll be pulling more information about Grady and getting that out there. And I think if once you read the story, the support we got the last time, I think we're going to see because it's not as big an event, but we'll see, I think, some great support because it's for a good cause.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I actually have some ideas that I have kept to myself up until this point. So maybe you guys will be hearing about those in the next few days as well.
Yep, excellent. So, yeah, I don't know if I have much else. The interview was great. I'm really glad, and thank I just reached out to Alex today. Would you mind coming on the podcast? He obviously didn't know what our podcast was, and but he was more than willing. And yeah, like I said, great ambassador for iRacing sport. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have anything to add either. I think we'll go ahead and close out, but just keep your eyes open in the future on future podcasts. I mean, to maybe Tony Stewart will be around. I don't know.
Yeah. Could be just around the corner.
Yeah. So everybody, if you're into football, keep an eye on the game. Somebody's getting tickets, I guess, and we'll post that as well. And I guess Roger will maybe get some action shots of Roger crying after the game's over. I don't know.
You might get action shots of me with my my Oculus on, and I'm racing and
then the skip barbers. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you back here again next week.
Take care.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so
How's it going?